So you might be asking yourself, why YouTube specifically? Today I would like to go over a little bit why I think YouTube is the best choice, at least for me, and I'll be explaining a little bit what I'm doing with my channel since this is the very first video. So stick with me and we'll get into it. So first, why I started this channel. I originally started this channel because I wanted to start talking about certain topics that are a little harder to talk about in other social media platforms. For instance, social commentary you can kind of get away with, although the kind that I would like to get away with, I'd like to get a little more in depth. I would like to talk a little bit more about small things like just the way people are viewing the world and why it's to their detriment, why it's hurting them in the end. Now, I would also like to start talking about some like self-help-ish topics, although while I'll be talking about a lot of the generic stuff like reading, journaling, meditation, your standard stuff, really. I'll still be liking to look at it from a different angle. And likewise, I would like to do it from more of a philosophical angle, which brings me to my next thing is I would also like to talk a little bit more about philosophy. I am a philosophy major, and I think that would bring a little something more to the table. Now, why am I doing YouTube? So being able to talk about philosophy through things like TikTok or like Instagram, I think would be way too hard. I don't think you can find a good TikTok viral short on the Platonic idea of forms. Now, you can maybe find something like that. Maybe someone who has a little more talent. I think that would be interesting. But in my case, not so much. I think YouTube, I do better in long form speaking than I do in short sound bites. So, I think YouTube would be the best for that, and likewise, YouTube does have the short option, and those are going to be very, very useful because I will be taking clips from my individual videos and uploading those. Eventually, I'd like to get to the point of doing like 5 per week, but we'll see. I'm still trying to juggle this channel with college and working a full-time job as of right now. We'll see how we do with that in the future, though. My goal is to get 1 video out per week, and I think the format that we're running here, I think that can make that somewhat doable. So, why do I want to do a YouTube channel, though? For me, I would like to honestly help people. Well, for a lot of people, they probably do this for the money, which I'm not saying that's not something that's in the back of my head. I think being able to help people through YouTube is the best. So how does that help you all in this case? Well, YouTube's probably, I would say, the most powerful social media platform right now. While I'm assuming TikTok and maybe Facebook might be more popular based on like how many people use it, I think you can make the case that YouTube's the most powerful. If you look at influencers on YouTube compared to influencers on like TikTok, I don't think TikTok is going to produce scientists. I don't think TikTok is going to make engineers or lawyers. Not to say that those people don't use TikTok, but I don't think it's going to be as inspiring as a platform as, say, YouTube. If you look at YouTube, you can look at people like Mr. Beast, or even in the election cycles recently, you can really see YouTube's been like the big focus, especially through podcasts on YouTube, the video podcasts such as like Joe Rogan, or I think Donald Trump appeared on Flagrant. That was neat. You can see that YouTube's becoming the place to be, as opposed to TikTok. No, like elections aren't going to be decided by TikTok. They might help, but not in the same way that like YouTube would. So I think YouTube would give me the best audience for this that I'm striving for. They give me the best yeah, the best audience, the best environment for me to, the best culture to talk to, as opposed to say like Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok. And that might help you too if you're wanting to post stuff that's a little more, I don't want to say serious, but something a little more, something more meat to it. Like I can post a 6-hour video on YouTube, but I can't do that on TikTok. Exactly. So, why else YouTube? Well, I've been using YouTube since I was like 8. I think I remember being at my friend's house and we would sit there and watch YouTube videos. I've been using it for literally decades now. It's been a part of my life, and I think it's the platform I'm the most acquainted with. I've probably used it more than any social media platform that there is out there right now. Likewise, it has a pretty large audience. It's pretty big, especially with it being associated with Google. Yeah, that's pretty neat. That's pretty cool. What else? It's easier to use YouTube than it is to write a book. Like right now, I'm able to say right now, as opposed to if I were writing this would take me ages, as opposed to just spewing what I'm doing right now. Likewise, it's easier for the people using this to absorb the information. And remember what I mentioned earlier with culture. Well, like I think books are probably the best culture of people you could probably get, most educated group. I think YouTube's a pretty good second. Then like podcasts, but podcasts can be done through YouTube. But this is easier for me to produce than like a book. I can do this like once per week pretty easily, as opposed to pumping out a book that maybe 5 people would read ever in its entirety. As opposed to this, I might get 10. I might get 10. And likewise, you can listen to YouTube in the car or like with your family. We put in earbuds. If you want to treat this like a podcast, by all means, like that should, if you are thinking about doing YouTube, I think that is the big appeal, is it's the nice middle ground between like the easiest to access is like a short, and the hardest is, I would say, a book. And I think videos, the long form videos that YouTube allows, is like the perfect middle ground for where you get bits of each group and audience. So, which brings me to how accessible this is. It's in people's phones now. It's in people's computers. I think YouTube's pretty mainstream at this point. It's crazy that it's just an app on the TV now. Like, I remember being a kid, you had to go in the family or the household computer and search it up in the browser, and now it's just an app on the TV. It's crazy accessible. I wouldn't be surprised if people watch YouTube more than they do regular TV. I certainly do. I don't remember the last time I've watched regular TV. And that really speaks to the accessibility of this. And likewise, with it being a visual format, if you want to use YouTube, take advantage of the visual format. Being able to show people things, instead of just citing a source like you would a book, you can actually like show more pictures, which you could do in a book, but that ups the price that people have to pay for the book, for the page, for the ink, as opposed to YouTube. It's right there. It's a lot more easier to access on both sides of this exchange that we're having right now. So, to recap everything, I'm doing this because I think I have something to contribute, at least in the self-help aspect. And if you're wanting to do YouTube, I think that is the thing you want to look for, is seeing if you have something to contribute for YouTube or TikTok or really anything, not just YouTube, but the reason why YouTube specifically is because it appeals to people that are looking for that sense of improvement. Because, I think TikTok, you run the risk of wanting people that want to improve themselves but without really doing it. They just kind of want the shorts. They just want the hits, the dopamine hits. of thinking that they're doing something. Whereas YouTube, I think you're more likely to find people that will actually do it. They'll actually take the advice. And in my case, I'm not really exceptional in by any regards. It's just I've taken some of that advice and really turned my life around. Really turned my life around. And likewise, I like talking about it. You know, I enjoy doing this. I talk about it all the time with everybody I'm around. It's like nonstop. It's all I can think about sometimes is just like the small things of like how to improve your life. And I think if I am going to keep doing that, I could at least put it out there in video and audio format in cases like YouTube. Or even, I'm not against using the shorts. I don't think anybody that's going to use YouTube is really against using the shorts now. And it is a neat feature. Not to say I don't use it either, but I use it a lot less than the normal long form videos. Likewise, I think it's the best format for both creators and the users. I think it's easier to edit a YouTube video than it is to edit a book. If you write a lot, you know exactly what I'm talking about. In my case, for essays, like I can. It takes a few days. It takes a few days to get a good essay. And likewise for the user, it's right there in your face. Now, I'd like to say thank you for listening. If you've, for whatever reason, made it this far, I really appreciate you. And if you stick around, maybe I can help you. And I would appreciate if you left a comment. I'll take a criticism here and there. I'll take a few. I think I need it at this point, considering this is the first video. So, thank you.